guys, prepare mentality here. I wanted to go over my get home bag. Some people call it a bug out bag, but I like get home bag or emergency bag. Now, I normally take my get home bag and do an inventory once a month, if it's possible with my schedule. So I figured I would do my inventory with you guys. I know some of you have been asking me to do one of these videos, so here it is. Normally, this bag is my everyday when I need it, when I go on travel, um, when I go on extensive trips or um, going further out from home. This bag will be in my vehicle. It has mostly everything that I need for at least 3 nights. Um, it does the job for an overnight stay if I need to, right? But at least 3 nights I'm packing this bag. Um, and I also bring my backpack with me because I can change it up with what I put in this bag and what I put in my big duffel bag. Now, this bag I have serves as a backpack as well. I can put it on my shoulders and or I can put it on my back. I don't normally put it on my shoulders as a backpack. I just use it as a duffel bag. So I will show this to you guys now. This is one of 511's duffel bags here. Uh, so again, this bag is basically my all emergency bag, unless I'm switching it up and taking my backpack. So I'm just going to go through the items here. And when we're talking about emergency bags, get home bags, when we're talking about bug out bags, see, I don't like the word bug out bag because it makes me think of I am taking a bag and I'm leaving my house and I'm never coming back, right? That's my thought process with a bug out bag. I'm not coming back home. That is the extreme case, right? The best case scenario is you have an emergency bag or a get home bag that you use on a daily basis that you check on every month or every other month, and it has all your essentials in it, the things that you would need on a normal basis, temporary emergencies, temporary situations, right? So it's a temporary bag that can get me from point A to point B to get me back home to where I need to be, where all the rest of my resources and the rest of my team is, right? And that's an important aspect of an emergency bag. You want to get back to where your resources are. That's the whole point of having a bag, right? You're just carrying the essentials to sustain you, to get you to where you need to be. And I want to be with my team if there's a crisis or there's an emergency. So that's what I plan for. And just having the basic essentials. So looking into this bag for the first time this month, and again, I review this bag every month because I want to be familiar with the things in this bag. Some people don't look at their bag for a whole year. They put it in their truck or their car, or they leave it somewhere and it's just there. They don't look at it. They don't use it. They barely know the items in there until they go back to it. So for me, I just want familiarity and I just want a automatic, hey, I know where this is. I can go to it in an emergency or a major event. So first thing I have are a pair of good boots. These bad boys will get you through rough terrain. It will get you through wet weather. And again, you want to have a good pair of boots or shoes, walking boots or shoes to get you through some mileage, right? Because we all know if you do not have the proper footwear for your feet and you get injured on your feet, you're out of the game. You're not mobile. you're down. You're a casualty at that point. And so we want to be able to be mobile. We want to be able to get to where we need to go in a fast, quick, dangerous environment. So please have some good footwear in your bag, either a pair of boots or a good pair of shoes, hiking shoes, preferably. You don't want to wear sandals. You don't want to wear flip flops. You don't want to wear dress shoes. I wear dress shoes, right, on a daily basis. For the most part, I wear a good pair of dress shoes, but I have these or my other pair of boots on hand at all times, everywhere I go, because you just never know what you'll get into. So have a good pair of boots. Stack these over here. Actually, put these over here. All right. Another thing I have is another hat, which if you haven't already, go to prepmentality.com and get you one of these hats. But I carry a hat. I wear a hat. This particular hat has a light on it, as you can see. It's good for in the dark. It's not necessarily good for if you're trying to hide, because again, if you're trying to hide, you don't want white light. But in normal circumstances, if you're trying to fix something in your hand, or you have something in your bag you need to see and it's dark, this will work out perfectly. So I keep a hat. Next item, I keep a rain coat or jacket. People oftentimes forget that it's going to rain, especially depending on, if it's spring or summer. You have your rainy days. In the fall time, you have your colder nights, your chilly nights, and then into the winter, your freezing temperatures, right? So make sure that you pack gear according to the climate in your environment. And again, this is going to be catered to your environment. This is going to be catered to what you most likely see happen in your area. Whether you're traveling from point A to point B, what's going to happen? What type of scenarios, what type of weather may happen between point A and point B, right? So I carry around a rain jacket because I'm on the East Coast. I know it's going to rain even if the weather doesn't call for it. So make sure you have a raincoat with you. What else is in here? This is a little laundry bag I use, again, because I use this for trips. I put my dirty laundry in here. It can be used for other things as well, not just dirty laundry. So, make sure you keep your dirty laundry separate, right? What else? I have a pair of goggles. Now, these were issued to me when I was with the Army. So I kept these on hand at all times. These give you the clear. This gives you another pair of shaded goggles there. This comes out. But these can be very helpful, again, depending on what type of environment you're in and the weather that you're in, or a disaster. If you live in the city, there's debris everywhere. If you live in the country, there's also debris. It just is going to depend. But having a good set of goggles or emergency glasses on hand will help you in dire situations, especially because we want to protect our eyes. We don't want to walk in blind on emergencies if we can help it. So if we can protect our eyes, that's definitely a plus. And again, think of your environment. Think of where you are. Is this a place where, like, last time I used these was in a blizzard that we had. It was snowing really, really bad. It was a mix of hail as well. So I had these, and these saved basically the whole part of my eyes, I should say, when it was, coming down on us. And my other colleagues didn't have a pair of these, so they were hurting a little bit. What else? This my packs here. This is my hygiene pouch with all my deodorant, my toothbrush, vitamins, chapstick, toothpicks. What else is in here? Small things of soap. And again, I use this when I go on trips, when I travel. This is my all hands bag. So I'm going to have things that you necessarily wouldn't need during an emergency, like cologne, right? It's a comfort thing. It's not a necessary item to put in here. But again, I use it. So that's going to be in here when I go out on my trips or I go on business meetings. What else in here? Lotions, right? More lotion. So just hygiene products, hygiene items that you can put in your bag is going to be important. And also, what are the dedicated items that you need personally as far as hygiene, as far as medication, as far as feminine products, feminine care, right? That's all going to depend on your needs and your environment, right? My bag is catered to me. Don't let these guys out here tell you that you need this, that, this, and that, and put you on this fairy tale that you need everything in the world, but nothing that really helps you during an emergency or a disaster or an essential crisis, right? You want this bag to be catered to you specifically. And that goes for everybody in your household. Think of, if you have older adults in your household, what medications may they need? What sources will they need? If you have children in your household, what items do they need? Even if it's little snacks, little comfort toys that may get them through a disaster or get you to point A to point B to keep their mind sane, right? So again, I like the Molly bags just for myself because with all this stuff in here, I can take the things that I don't need and keep it in this bag, and the things that I really need, if it's really, really bad, attach it on here and get out of Dodge, right? Because I want to be mobile, I want to be light, and I want to be fast. That's my idea of an emergency bag, a get home bag, right? I'm not out there hiking it and doing a sleepover in the woods for a whole week. That's not the purpose of this bag. Again, this bag can sustain me for at least 3 days if I needed it to, right? I can stretch it out to 3 days. Realistically, I don't want to do that. Realistically, if I needed to live out this bag, maybe 2 days. I can stretch it to 3, right? But I have training for that. Not everybody has the training. This is basic. This is basic stuff that you can do at home. You don't need a Molly backpack, right? You don't need a big old military duffel bag. You don't need the most expensive product out there on the market. You have the basics at home. Let's start at home. Let's start where you are, right? So if you're looking in your house and you have a backpack that you're not using, or you have a duffel bag in your closet that you're not using, start right there, right? You don't need a Molly bag. You can start with a Ziploc bag. Put the essential items you need, medications, hygiene products, emergency documents in that Ziploc bag, or in an extra bag that you just found, right? You don't have to start with the big major products. It's nice. Are they more durable? Yes. But again, we're starting from the basics. If you can level up with some of this stuff, great. But everybody is starting at different pace, at different times, on different levels, different financial situations. So don't break the bank when you get your emergency bag, because that will come in time. You can go on and on through the gamut of wasting money on things you don't need and people telling you that you need this or buy that product. Just start where you are, get what you need when you have it. Speaking of hygiene, I went on a little rant there. Baby wipes, right? Baby wipes are important. I carry around baby wipes wherever I go. These will get you through some hard cleaning situations. And not just that, they're definitely a morale booster because everybody wants to feel clean. I hope everybody wants to feel clean. In this bag also have my personal IFAC, my individual first aid kit. This has the basics in it. One thing about IFACs, right? People or some of my guys that I know, they carry around, the quick clocks. They carry around the big bandages, the chest seals, right? Chest seals. I don't know if you can see here, but they carry around all the tactical gear, right? Let's get that in the camera. All the tactical gear that you may need, but they don't carry around band-aids or anti, you know, alcohol wipes and what else? Just little things, little boo-boos, right? And get that in the camera. I don't know if you can see. Little bandages, little band-aids that can get you through some hard times. Neosporin, some ointments. Have those little first aid things in your individual first aid kit. Even if you have a bigger combat bag or emergency bag, keep essential items for first aid, small things that can get you through a hard time. It's nice to have the tourniquets. It's nice to have the chest seals, but we want to be as basic as possible. And then with knowledge and training, we can step up to the bigger items. But just having something as simple as gloves, a pair of rubber gloves, right? Or latex gloves, I should say, can get you through a lot. So I carry around that. I have some glow sticks in here as well. Also, I have this glow stick, which is battery powered. You can see that. And it blinks as well. Have that there. But yeah, just, you don't have to go all combat ready with your first aid kit. Again, they're nice to have. It's good to have it realistically during normal circumstances. We are catering this bag for an environment where there is not a lot of help, but by the end of the 3-day period, by the end of even the 5-day period, resources can come back online. This is why this is not a camping, hiking bag to last for 2 weeks, right? Because we want to get back to our resources. We want to get back to where we know we have food, where we know we have water, where we know we have protection, where we know the environment that we're in, and get the resources that we need from point A to point B. So the misconception of, hey, I'm going to live out of my emergency bag, that's not realistic at all, especially during normal circumstances when resources or normal resources are just offline for a few days, or there's a isolated emergency in one area, because there can be an isolated emergency where I am on the East Coast, but everything is fine in the Midwest. Everything is normal. So if it's not a national grid down scenario, SHTF scenario, Armageddon, you don't need to really worry about the long-term effect with your emergency bag, your get home bag. But you do need to know the immediate effects and the limitations of your get home bag and emergency bag. So I just want to put that out there because I see a lot of people talk about their, again, this bug out bag as if it's the end all be all, and it's not. It's really just a scout bag, really, scout bag. I'm trying to get from point A to point B real fast, real quick. That's it. This is not going to sustain me for a month. Not realistic. Let's get back to it. I have a belt, one of my tack belts. Again, I have this because I don't want to be carrying around everything in my bag or on my back and shoulders. So I'm able to attach my IFAT to the side of my waist just to distribute the weight a little bit. This is why I like the Molly bags and the webbing to put on my belt to distribute the weight. Because if anybody's been hiking or rucking for a long period of time, you know that weight distribution with your bag is crucial for how you perform. And you can get tired really, really quick when your shoulders are giving out on you. All of this is hurting and you're bending over, and it can get bad really quick, especially long distance. So I like to carry a belt with me as well. Put that there. I have a few shirts. This is one of my shirts. I'm not going to take out all my shirts, but here's one of my shirts. I want to keep shirts. Where's my socks? Shirts, extra pair of socks, extra pair of pants. I have 2 pairs of pants in here. The socks go along with your boots. If you have a good pair of sneakers and boots, you want to have a couple pairs of socks because anything can happen. Gangrene, your feet get wet, it's all over, right? And it can be a pretty bad day for you if your feet are not dry and you don't change your socks out. So have an extra pair of socks. Also, I would say with socks, along with any clothing that you have, it's going to change with your environment. So you might want a extra pair of wool socks or a long sleeve shirt. This is a short sleeve. Might want a long sleeve shirt or a different material for the winter, right? So your clothing is going to change with the season that you're in. Just a quick note. I'll put this back in here. What else do I have? Oh, I have a little SOL Survivor Outdoors bivy. I don't know if you can, emergency bivy right there. This little guy, I've slept in this little guy before. Definitely warm. Definitely keeps you off of the ground. Again, this is not long term. If you're doing this, if you're sleeping in this long term, you definitely want an extra layer underneath you, especially on the colder nights, because that ground, especially in the environment that you're in, will suck all your heat, right? If you're in the summer months, you can get away with just this and the clothing that you have, along with your rain jacket or whatever jacket you have available. But again, this is just an overnight bivy. This is not a sleeping bag. This is not a long-term tent. It's none of that. It's to get me a few hours of sleep and to get me away from the ground, just, a little bit, and keep it moving, right? That's the whole idea. You want to keep it moving. What else? All right. I'll go to food. All right. Snacks and food. When you're on a long hike or a long ruck and let's just say you are 20 miles from your point B location, you want calories, you want things that will sustain you and give you more energy. Now, I like MREs. Not everybody likes or enjoys or prefers MREs. Along with the MREs, I do have 2 of these emergency bars, right? Not everybody enjoys emergency bars and MREs, right? It's not for everybody. This is my choice. This is my pick, because I can put this in my bag and forget about it if I needed to, right? I don't have perishable things in my bag. You shouldn't have perishable food items or products in your bag anyway. This is why we go over our get home bag every month to make sure things are good, especially deodorants, toothpaste. If you have Listerine, mouthwash, stuff like that, medications, you want to at least check this bag for expired items. But back to the food, I like the MREs because I know how to make these last. 2 MREs can get me through, a good week if I needed to, right? But I'm trained like that. I can do that. Everybody can't do that. We're going to the basics. So some nuts, some berries, protein bars, things that you would normally snack on that aren't perishable, put those in your bag. These are not for everybody. And food can either be a morale booster or a morale killer, because if you don't like the food, especially during normal circumstances, you're not going to like the food during an emergency or a disaster. That's just my train of thought there. So again, if you can get MREs, they are expensive, they are costly. Get you the MREs if you know how to utilize them correctly. And again, with the MREs, not everybody knows how to utilize these correctly. They just open up everything and they chow down and they use up all the resources that these things have. Maybe I'll do a video on how to utilize an MRE for a good week or 2. I don't know, we'll see. But again, have a good source of calories in your bag to get you through where you need to go. Put these to the side as well. All right. What else is in here? Flashlights. Where's my other flashlight? Flashlights. There we go. Yeah, so pretty self-explanatory flashlights. Like I said before, with the flashlight that's on the hat, it can help you see at night in dark spaces. If you live in an urban environment, it can help you see in dark buildings, especially if the power goes out and all, the electricity is gone. But this is pretty bright. I can light you up with this pretty well, right? Strobe. And then this one was issued to me. This has the red light on it. Let me see if I can turn that on. There we go. Red light. Red light. So red light. I suggest keeping a red light on you, right? For the purposes, if you get into a dangerous environment, and let's assume that most people are trying to fend for their lives, people are stealing left and right, people are attacking vulnerable individuals, and you're trying to hide or you're trying to conceal yourself in the environment you're in, you don't want a white light shining on either you or the area that you're in, because it is a locator for people to find you. A red light will help diminish that environment and make it a little bit more concealable, because it's harder to see the red light in the dark, right? And our eyes adjust a lot better with a red light in the dark as well. So with red light, you want low profile, your eyes can adjust better. And overall, it's really for safety purposes if you're trying to hide and conceal where you are. So enough about that. There's other videos, other people who do a better job talking about the kind of lights that you would use in different environments. So I'm not going to waste any more on that. Again, I have another set of uh, glasses, and they're clear. Again, I can change these out. These are ESS glasses. Normally, when I go to the range, I'll wear these on my other pair of range glasses. But again, these can help you in a disaster, emergency, especially when there's debris flying, the wind is blowing. You want to be able to see. Put these over there. You also have a towel, multi-purpose towel. This, you can use it for whatever you need it to be. Uh, Towels are a multi-tool within itself. So figure it out. I'm not going to go over it here. But yeah, self-explanatory towel. What else do I have? I think that's most of the. I do have these. This pocket here. What else? I have the Constitution of the United States, right? Rule of law. I think this is, again, I like to read it. Just if I'm out there, and I'm down and out, this can be a pick me up for me, or any book that can help you. If you can get a survival book, things that have areas where you can read about the different type of berries or the different type of bugs or the different type of animals that are in your environment. Get those type of books out there, or get something like the Constitution. But for me, it's just a morale booster when everything is going to hell in a handbasket. I can remember, what it was and how we can get back to where it needs to be. So I have that. I have some hand warmers. I'm probably going to end up putting a lot more of these in my bag because it's getting closer to the fall season, and these can help you. I think these are pretty much self-explanatory. Have some hand warmers in your bag for the cold and the cool temperatures, especially if you are having an overnight stay outside or in a building without power. You want to make sure that you have some hand warmers on hand. Another important item, gloves, because you never know when you'll need to pick up things, when you'll need to move things. We use our hands all the time. If you have a hand injury, that can put you out the game for sure. And you just want to be safe about, what you're doing with your hands. So having a good pair of gloves, a good strong pair of gloves, these are mechanics gloves that won't tear or rip easily, are good to have on hand. Protects your hands. What else do we have here? Oh, I got a little fire rod. So this I keep in still works. Why wouldn't it work, right? But I keep in here just in case. Again, I'm not trying to be outside or out in the wilderness for a long period of time, right? Again, 3 days tops is what I'm trying to mitigate. And with the time frame, it's all going to depend on where you are and how far you are from your locations, right? Because if you are traveling with this bag, you may want to upgrade some things that can sustain you for a longer period of time, right? Or if you're just going from home to work, map out by walking on Google Maps how far that is. How many miles does it take you to get from work and home and from home to work, right? So that's going to depend on your environment. For me, I assess the most, depending on how fast I'm going, 3 days, right? That's my assessment. Your assessment is going to be different. So I want to make that clear when I say 3 days tops, right? But again, we're thinking short term, not long term. Long term scenario is a whole different bag, whole different video with different items for sure, right? For long-term scenarios. That's when we are bugging out, and it's we're leaving locations for good. But again, I have a fire steel rod here, just for making fires, or if I need a spark for something. You never know. I have it for that environment. I have a good flip fixed blade. This is the only defense tool or helper that I'm going to show on here because it's all going to depend on your location and the state that you are in. So if you prefer to have a pew pew, that would be my recommendation. I strongly, am for the Second Amendment and our rights and freedoms as American citizens. So if you can do that in your state, please do. Get your license, take a class, be proficient, do some training, go through that. This is not the video for that. I don't advertise that here. But in this video, I'm going to say during a disaster or an emergency event, people get greasy and times get tough. And if you need to protect your family and you need to protect yourself, what options do you have? Right? So go through those scenarios. Think about, how am I going to protect myself and my family and get out of these dangerous situations? And that's going back to the red light. The red light is a safety precaution. You don't want to be seen at night. So think about those scenarios as you pack your bag or pack your bag for other individuals that you are in charge of and that you watch over. So I have a nice fixed blade here. Sometimes this changes depending on the weather, environment, where I'm going. But yeah. What else? Water. He's like, how come you haven't talked about water? Well, water is going to be the last thing I'm talking about, but it should be one of the first things that you think about and pack for your bag, or the tools to help you get clean water, like the Life Straw, right? This is not a promotion for Life Straw, but I do like their products. They are quick, they are easy. You can filter out a good amount of water through their Life Straws and the other products that they have. There are numerous filtration systems, portable filtration systems for your water. Speaking of water, in my pack here, actually, it's in my other pack that I'm going to get at. I have a hydration pouch. So this is a original Camelback hydration pouch. This is going to be 3 liters of potable water. Now, think about water. You want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure that there's no parasites, that there's nothing that's going to make you sick in your water. So make sure that your water is clean, or you get your water from a clean source as much as possible. But you do have filtration systems out there that you can filter your water, put it in your Camelback, or your water pouch, or your canteen, whatever source you have to get and carry water. So this is going to be in my scout pack, in my backpack for the most part. Again, if I need to go and get quickly out of Dodge, that's going to help tremendously. I do carry bottles of water and other forms of water. I do have my canteen here that I carry on a daily basis. That's going to get me a good amount of water before I need to go. So I can always drop this in my bag or put it in my backpack. So I think that is it. And again, guys, I go over some of this stuff with my 4-level system on emergency management 101. That's going to be on prepmentality.com in our training courses there. But again, the 4-level system helps you advance from your get home bag or your go bag, right? There's the next steps, the other 2 steps in that process. So make sure you go to prepmentality.com and take the course Emergency Preparedness 101. And yeah, guys, so One thing I haven't talked about too is, again, your environment. And so for me, I am comfortable with the army green color, right? Or ranger green, uh, for my environment, because that's most likely the environment I'm going to be in. Now, my environment can change depending on where I am. So colors, the things that you wear, you don't want to be in the city wearing multicam, right? And you don't want to be in the woods wearing all black, right? So you want to assess where you are and where you could be going and the environments that you could be in. So my everyday bag, because I'm going in urban environments, is going to be something like this, right? It's going to be a more darker color, solid color that still has the webbing on it, but at this point, everybody has, or you can find people in the crowd that have webbing on their bag. So that's, that used to be something that you can spot people, oh, they're, military or they're tactical or something of that nature. But nowadays, they just make them for normal bags. Everybody that I've seen that aren't a part of that community have, a web bag with Molly webbing. So I wouldn't make that a major concern. Most major concern is make sure that you can blend in as much as possible, right? So whether that be with the clothing that you're already wearing, your everyday carry, whether that be with the clothing that you have in your bag, make sure you have things where you can switch up depending on your environment. So that's going to be important, and the colors that you wear, right? People don't think about those little nuances when they're in their environment. But I think that wraps it up. And one important thing that I want to mention, my book, right? The Eye of Clarity, The Keys to Effective Situational Awareness. I want to make sure that we get a clear visual of this. Will it be clear? I don't know if it'll be clear or not. But this will get you started, or this will get anybody that you think can benefit from learning about situational awareness. And that's how all this starts, right? We can have all the things, we can have all the items, we can spend all this money, but if we don't have situational awareness about ourselves and our environment, all this doesn't matter. None of it matters, because we want to be ready in our minds first. Because even if I didn't have any of this stuff, I know how to go out there and get it. I know how to get the resources I need. So without this stuff, you want to be a force on your own. The extra items enhance what you already know. But knowledge is power, guys. So if you haven't checked out the book, go get the book. It's on Amazon right now. And this is going to be a key aspect of your preparedness, because it starts with our mindset, it starts with our mind, and it starts with situational awareness. Situational awareness is something that has to be taught. It's not always something that's instinct, right? Because we have now all of these distractions. So the distractions from our phone, distractions from our computers, distractions with people, distractions with entertainment, all those are distractions. So it's not going to necessarily come easy for people to know about their own situational awareness. That's why this book is so important. It's going to help you out tremendously, especially in this community, especially if you want to learn something different, something new. And for anybody getting started in emergency preparedness. But that is our job here at Prepare Mentality, to get people ready from the basics and advance on in their emergency preparedness. So make sure you get the Eye of Clarity, the Effective Keys to Situational Awareness. Shameless plug, right? And if you haven't already, go out to Prep Mentality. That's prepmentality.com. There's other things on the site. Our children's book, Micah's Adventures, is on there. Our emergency preparedness one-on-one course is on there. Our blackout course is on there. What if the grid goes down, right? And the power is out, that's on there. Also with our merch, Prepare Mentality, you can get a Prepare Mentality shirt, get a Prepare Mentality hat, right? So shameless plugs there. And this is where we start with the basics. And I hope this video benefited somebody. I hope there was some good content in here for you guys. I should be doing these a lot more, just depending on the season. I might do one for winter, so because it's coming up, or fall season is coming up. So the items in here are going to change just a little bit, but I may do a video about that. But again, I hope this helped you guys. Hope you guys be safe, be healthy, stay blessed with parentality.